It begins in a world not so different from ours, only time itself behaves differently. The past is not forgotten, the past is online. The year is 44 BC. Rome is loud, powerful, and unstoppable. Julius Caesar doesn't walk through the forum anymore, he live streams it. Followers? 2.3 million. Bio, dictator for life. Civilizer of barbarians. Reader of omens. His Instagram is filled with gold leaf selfies, battle recaps and reels, and carefully curated behind the scenes of Senate debates. But in his comment section, the hashtags are starting to shift. Hashtag Ides of March. Hashtag Brutus knows. Hashtag Democracy dies. Somewhere in a dark corner of ancient Rome, Brutus stares at his private DM thread. A group chat with Cassius and a few other conspirators. It's named, Restore the Republic Brokenheart Dagger. The plan has been brewing for weeks. Brutus, once Caesar's closest ally, now posts cryptic tweets like, Sometimes, love of country must come before loyalty to friends. Italy cross swords hashtag stay tuned. Caesar ignores it. His feed is filled with cheering soldiers, people begging for selfies, senators kissing his feet on TikTok. He's confident. Arrogant. Viral. On the 15th of March, a shaky live stream from inside the Senate shocks the entire ancient social web. The stream is titled, Something's Going Down, Face Screaming in Fear, by an anonymous account. The camera shakes. Screams echo. The words, ET2 brute, are caught on mic, forever burned into digital history. It trends globally. Hashtag ET2 brute. Hashtag unfollowed. Hashtag end of Caesar. Rome falls into a frenzy, not just in the streets, but in feeds and stories. Brutus posts a solemn video. I didn't kill a man. I ended a dictatorship. Comments flood in. Some call him a hero. Others call him a traitor. Flash forward. 1478, Florence. The Renaissance is blooming like never before. Art, science, and secrets all flow like wine. Leonardo da Vinci runs a mysterious private blog, part Tumblr, part encrypted Substack. He posts sketches daily. Helicopters. Anatomical diagrams. A robot. People think it's fake. This man's an AI. One comment says. But Leo doesn't care about likes. He's posting for the future. In his stories, he whispers theories in code, visible only to those who know how to decode Latin backwards. A small subreddit-like group emerges, hashtag DaVinci Decoded. Conspiracies rise. Meanwhile, Michelangelo and Raphael battle it out on social media. Their fanbases wage meme wars. Who's the real genius? Hashtag Team Leo. Hashtag Michelangelo Mafia. Hashtag Raphaelite. Then, suddenly, Leonardo goes dark. His final post? A blueprint for something that looks eerily like a drone, captioned only with, Not yet. But soon. Across the ocean, 1492 hits like an earthquake on the timeline. Christopher Columbus is trending. Heading west, he posts, DM for trade deals. Globe showing America's sailboat hashtag New World vibes. His voyage is fully vlogged. TikToks from the deck. Tweets about weird stars. Live maps that glitch halfway across the Atlantic. Then, one day, a single blurry selfie with native people appears with the caption, We made it. The internet explodes. Debates rage. Is it discovery or invasion? Who really found America? Hashtag Columbus Day or Nah. Hashtag Indigenous Voices. Hashtag Cancel Columbus. The Queen of Spain posts, Happy for your safe return, but we need receipts. Smirking face money bag. Meanwhile, the Aztec Empire's own social presence suddenly goes viral. Emperor Moctezuma launches an anti-colonizer thread, sharing glorious high-definition images of temples, feasts, and culture. A clap back to the Eurocentric feeds. Don't mistake silence for weakness. He tweets. This empire has stood for centuries. But deep down, he senses what's coming. The internet remembers, but it cannot stop. Now it's 1776. The American colonies are fed up. Their TikTok feeds are full of British taxes and royal propaganda. King George III's official account posts videos in powdered wigs with captions like, "Just a reminder, tea is taxed now. United Kingdom hot beverage #Crown rules." But in the shadows of Boston, a different kind of content brews. Anonymous accounts begin to post encrypted threads and rants. One handle gains massive traction at RebelTom 1776. Thomas Jefferson. He drops a mega-viral thread titled, "We hold these truths to be self-evident." It explodes. Every line becomes a quote. Every sentence turns into a short, cinematic reel. Across the ocean, King George quote tweets it. Fake news. Pathetic attempt at attention. The comments explode with anger. Let them go. No taxation without representation. #Boston Tea Party. #unsubscribe from the Crown. #revolution incoming. Benjamin Franklin, the ultimate influencer, posts satirical memes that go viral every week. He's the godfather of founding father Twitter. His thread, 13 things I learned while flying a kite in a thunderstorm, you won't believe number 9, breaks records. By the time Washington is tagged in a war declaration TikTok, it's too late. The revolution is no longer a whisper, it's a live stream. Muskets. Marches. Midnight raids. Paul Revere's story is a 1-minute cinematic reel posted at exactly 12:01 a.m. It includes flashing red lights and a caption. The British are coming. #NoCap. As America rises, the old powers scramble to maintain their image. European monarchs go on podcast tours. We're not tyrants, we're misunderstood, says one. Nobody talks about how hard it is to run an empire, sighs another. But the damage is done. The likes have shifted. The comment sections have changed sides. Back in France, the people watch all of this online. They scroll through America's independence with envy. France's own TikTok is full of bread lines, lavish palace tours by Marie Antoinette, and angry day in the life of a starving peasant vlogs. One user posts a viral duet to Marie's cake-eating post. The audio echoes, "Let them eat the truth." Then one night, a simple, bloody, beautiful tweet goes viral. Down with the crown. France #revolution. France is burning, both in the streets and on the feeds. The year is 1789, and the digital storm mirrors the real one. #spread like fire. #storm the Bastille. #eat the rich. #no more monarchy. Anonymous citizen-run accounts start posting raw, unfiltered footage, guards trembling, gates breaking, prisoners blinking at the sunlight for the first time in years. Bastille's fall becomes the most shared story in Europe. The comments are flooded. This isn't just revolution. This is rebirth. Unfollowed Marie. Finally, the algorithm favors justice. King Louis XVI tries to win public favor through carefully staged live streams in royal gardens. He posts a story saying, "We understand the people now. We're listening." But the filters are heavy, the message empty. Someone screen records the video and adds mocking subtitles. It goes viral on RevoTalk within hours. Meanwhile, Marie Antoinette launches a disastrous giveaway. Win a tour of Versailles. Cherry blossom crown. All you have to do is comment what you name your pet peasant. The backlash is immediate. #let them eat shame. #guillotine goals. #too late Marie. Then comes a moment that breaks the social world. A shaky vertical video, filmed from the crowd, captures the king and queen dragged from their palace. The sound of crowds chanting. The flash of the blade. Silence. A single comment sums up the mood. France logged off its monarchy. For weeks, the feed is dark, until it isn't. Because now, a new figure is trending, Napoleon Bonaparte. His bio, little man, big plans. His profile picture is a stylized painting where he looks taller than reality. His TikToks are crisp, edited like war trailers. Marching soldiers. Flags. Epic music. I came. I saw. I conquered, plays over his army storming cities. He uses algorithms like battlefield tactics. He announces his rise with a tweet. Power isn't given. It's seized. Classical building cross swords #Emperor mode. His fans are rabid. #Napoleon's army floods every platform. Fan edits, fanfiction, even AI-generated portraits. The world watches as he invades countries like they're trending challenges. Rate my conquests fire, he posts. Tag a city I should liberate next. But fame is fickle. His Russian campaign becomes his downfall, and the internet doesn't forget. A Frozen Reels video shows his army retreating in silence, snow blowing sideways. The caption reads, "This didn't go viral the way I planned." The memes begin. #Napoleon Complex. #Cold Feet. #When you tried to conquer Russia in winter. By the time he's exiled, people are stitching his old victory clips with laughing emojis. His last message from Elba. Not the end. Just intermission. The comments. Sure, January. Now the timeline fast forwards. It's the 1800s, and the world is changing again. A strange man named Charles Darwin begins a long Twitter thread. So hear me out. What if humans weren't always like this? DNA monkey #evolution. The scientific community is torn. Churches post fiery TikToks in response. Blasphemy goes viral, but truth is eternal. One priest shouts while pointing at a burning printout of Darwin's post. Meanwhile, abolitionists across the Atlantic hijack hashtags and transform them into powerful tools. Harriet Tubman's anonymous Instagram posts show coded paths and safe houses. Her story icons are filled with stars, candles, and secret routes. She never shows her face, but everyone knows it's her. Her followers grow quietly. Then one day, a viral post titled, "Freedom Thread Black Heart Raise Fist Dark Skin Tone," explodes. It's Frederick Douglass. Long, powerful captions. Photos of pain, resistance, and unbreakable dignity. Every line quoted. Every word reshared. And then war. The American Civil War isn't just fought with rifles. It's fought with cameras. Abraham Lincoln's account, once quiet and formal, now posts a single black and white photo of him, head down, captioned simply, "The Union must hold." Confederate influencers attempt to control the narrative. They repost plantation, day in the life, reels. But the truth bleeds through. Soldiers in muddy trenches live stream from both sides. One Union soldier says, "We're fighting for more than a flag. We're fighting for what's right." His face is young, his eyes old. Gettysburg becomes a viral moment. A drone-like hot air balloon captures a panoramic view of charging lines. It's turned into a cinematic trailer with Hans Zimmer music, shared worldwide. And then, emancipation. Lincoln posts the Emancipation Proclamation as a thread. A single line is reshared billions of times. "All persons held as slaves shall be thenceforward, and forever free." It becomes the most quoted sentence of the decade. But peace doesn't last. Because while people are still processing war, a scientist named Marie Curie starts posting about something else entirely. Radiation. Her feed is technical, glowing blue diagrams, quiet brilliance. Most scroll past her posts. But a small group begins following closely. "She's discovering invisible fire," one user comments. She responds with a single emoji, radioactive. In her shadow, Nikola Tesla starts going live from a lab lit entirely by electricity. He creates artificial lightning on live stream. His feed is pure madness, sparks, glowing bulbs, coils humming like alien music. He tweets, "The future is electric. Wireless. Limitless." Thomas Edison replies, "Sounds expensive." Their feud explodes into the first tech war. #Team Tesla. #EdisonGate. #Who stole what. Meanwhile, a teenage girl named Anne Frank starts a private blog. It's quiet. Simple. A diary in digital ink. "I still believe people are good at heart," she writes. She doesn't post for fame. She posts to survive. But evil lurks in the digital world too. Hitler's propaganda machine is the most dangerous algorithm in history. His carefully orchestrated clips show fake peace, parades, smiling children. But behind the curtain, the truth leaks. Whistleblowers post blurry images, secret footage. Survivors speak out on shadow platforms. Resistance accounts begin to rise. Code names, anonymous interviews, secrets hidden in memes. Churchill starts a podcast, rough audio, but powerful. "We shall never surrender," he says, and it goes viral. Roosevelt retweets him. "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself." Then D-Day drops, not just on Normandy, but on the internet. Live bulletins, heart rate monitors of soldiers, drone like flyovers. It feels like a video game. But it's not. Millions watch. Millions cry. And then, one day it ends. The announcement goes live at midnight. "It's over," says a caption beneath footage of flags rising and soldiers hugging. But the world doesn't heal overnight. Because now, another man steps into the digital light. His name is Martin Luther King Jr. His account is clean, poetic, and full of lightning. He posts, "I have a dream." A full speech in one continuous story. Black and white filters. His voice trembles with power. The world watches. Selma, Montgomery, Washington. Every moment is documented by phones, cameras, even drones. The civil rights movement is now not just a march, it's a movement trending across time zones. But resistance still lurks in replies, in quote posts, and lies spread faster than facts. Martin doesn't argue. He posts truth, and lets it echo. One night, his feed goes dark. Only one post remains. A quote pinned to the top of his page. "Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that." People don't scroll past it. They pause. The world is shifting. And somewhere, out of sight, off screen, a new chapter is loading. The screen flickers. Now it's 1989. The Berlin Wall stands, dividing a city, a people, a history. But the internet doesn't divide, it leaks. Across the wall, East and West exchange fragments of freedom through pirated VHS clips, hacked radio frequencies, and now, social media. A man in East Berlin begins posting videos. Not of politics, but of music. Jazz. Rock. Western rhythms flowing through illegal wires. One post reads, "Freedom sounds like this." His feed becomes a quiet rebellion. People start to gather, not with weapons, but with headphones. Then it happens. November 9th. A single live stream begins, thousands of people with candles, moving toward the wall. No screaming. Just humming. Beethoven's Ode to Joy plays in the background. Someone climbs the wall. Another follows. The camera zooms in as people chip away with bare hands. The post is titled, "No More Walls." Hashtag tear it down. Hashtag reunite Berlin. Hashtag history breaks. The wall crumbles, not just in concrete, but across hearts. The Cold War ends, and the internet becomes something else. No longer whispers from rebels. Now it becomes the bloodstream of the world. It sees everything. Records everything. In the deserts of the Middle East, a young man named Mohammed Bouazizi sets himself on fire. Not in a post. Not in a tweet. But in real life. And someone records it. That video travels faster than a bullet. It lands in Tunisia, then Egypt, then Syria. Suddenly, protests become TikToks. Arab youth use hashtags like weapons. Facebook events become revolutions. Hashtag Arab Spring. Hashtag freedom is trending. Hashtag this is not a drill. Hosni Mubarak's regime falls not with an army, but with posts from Tahrir Square. Across the globe, anonymous figures in masks appear on live streams, voices distorted, exposing governments, corporations' secrets. They say nothing, but the silence is deafening. Hashtag anonymous. Hashtag we are everywhere. Hashtag expect us. Then, in the US, tragedy strikes. George Floyd. A knee. A cry. I can't breathe. The video is short. Brutal. Unforgettable. It uploads. Spreads. Consumes. The feed becomes black squares. Marches. Screams. Knees in solidarity. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Hashtag say his name. Hashtag no justice, no peace. Around the world statues fall. Not just of stone, but of ignorance. Schools change curriculums. History books get rewritten. But backlash rises just as fast. Misinformation becomes an epidemic. Truth becomes slippery. Then AI enters. A new force. Cold, brilliant, emotionless, but trained on every human post ever made. At first, people celebrate. AI generates art, essays, even dreams. Then fear seeps in. What is real? What is edited? What is fabricated? Deep fakes of leaders declaring war. Fake peace treaties. Reconstructed voices of the dead. The line between history and fiction becomes thinner than ever. And still, the scroll never ends. A girl in Ukraine posts a video from a bomb shelter. We are still alive! A boy in Palestine tweets. We were here before the airstrikes. A teacher in Iran whispers into the camera. If I disappear, know I spoke the truth. The internet doesn't save them. But it remembers them. The feed becomes a living graveyard. A cathedral of memory. The algorithm begins to glitch. Too much data. Too many tragedies. Rage, laughter, heartbreak, looping forever. Some users delete their accounts, overwhelmed. Others dive deeper, addicted to doom-scrolling history as it's being written. And somewhere, a strange new post appears. It's from the account at Humanity. No bio. No followers. No reposts. It simply says, "What did we become when everything became content?" The comments are turned off. People search for the account. It vanishes. But the message stays. Meanwhile, an astronaut aboard the International Space Station goes live. She films Earth spinning slowly beneath her. No hashtags. No music. Just the sound of breathing. She says, "We built machines to take us to the stars, but forgot how to speak to each other." The stream ends with her whisper. Maybe we need to log off to remember who we are. That night, the world is quiet. Not silent. But quieter than it's been in years. People start posting differently. Less filters. More truth. A photo of an old woman smiling next to a garden she grew herself. A father showing his son how to paint. A nurse holding the hand of a dying man. These posts don't trend. But they reach people. And that's when it shifts. A child in Nairobi writes a poem and posts it. It's about rain. It goes viral, not because it's tragic, but because it's beautiful. A woman in Mumbai starts a thread on her grandmother's recipes. People from 50 countries comment with their own. Hashtag shared heritage. Hashtag food as love. Hashtag no more borders. Suddenly, history isn't just war and kings and revolution. It's in every post. Every message. Every face that smiled through the storm. The past didn't disappear. It evolved. It went digital. It got louder. And yet, somehow, it began to whisper again. Because in a world where Caesar live-streamed his fall, where Harriet coded paths through emojis, where Anne Frank blogged from the shadows, where Martin Luther King posted dreams that still echo, and where the feed has seen the best and worst of us, maybe, just maybe, the next chapter isn't about who can shout the loudest, or who trends the longest. Maybe the next chapter is written in quiet truths, small kindnesses, shared stories. Maybe, after all this time, history will not just be watched. It will be understood. And if we're lucky, we won't just scroll past it. We'll learn from it. We'll feel it. We'll change it. Together.